Welcome to Book Club Preview. I'm Michael, and today we're looking at The Maze Runner, Chapter 25. Now, this chapter starts off, just after the bombshell, where Minho is like, Thomas should be the leader of the runners. And so Thomas is just like, oh my goodness, why would Minho even say that? What is he thinking? Of course, Gally starts saying how stupid the idea is, and a few other people think it's a pretty stupid idea too. But then some people are like, oh man, that's a great idea, Minho. Yeah, that's so wonderful. And so suddenly all this chaos erupts, and everyone's talking, and things are going crazy. And Thomas just puts his face in his hands. It's just like, oh my goodness, I wish I wasn't here. It takes Minho a good few minutes of yelling and shouting before people start to calm down, start to sit down, and start to be quiet. Eventually they do. And Newt says, if you guys do that again, we're done. We're starting over. You're all fired. And so they start to be quiet. And then Newt asks Minho, if you're going to say something that crazy, you need to explain it. So Minho starts getting into his argument, his defense, where he's like, hey, look, think about this guy, Thomas. He's been here 3 days, maybe a week, whatever it is. When we all came for that first week or month, all we did was cry, cower in fear, and moan. Like, they didn't even do any work. But Thomas has been different. Thomas has, learned all about, the stuff. He's been working. He even went out into the maze to save 2 people that he barely knew. All right? So Minho's just like going through all this stuff, and he's like, and look, no one here except for Newt knows what it's like to be in the maze. Gally says, I know what it's like, but Minho's like, no, you don't. You broke the same rule Thomas did that you're trying to get Thomas, locked up for. He calls him a hypocrite. It's like, but you don't know what it's like to be out there. So he goes back and he says, Thomas, out in the maze for the first time, knowing how terrible it was, he didn't panic. He took charge. He defeated things. He ran away. He did all this crazy stuff. And he's like, do you know how much willpower and strength that took? It's like, you guys don't understand what it's like out there. But Thomas did the impossible, right? And so he just keeps talking it up. Gally really starts to get in it, where he says something to Minho, and he even threatens Minho. He says something like, I'll break your neck if you talk to me like that again. I can't remember what Minho says. Minho keeps talking about how Gally's a coward or something. And then, so Gally stands up and he gets in Minho's face. Minho just takes his hand and he just pushes it right in Minho takes his hand and pushes it right in Gally's face. Gally falls onto his chair. He breaks his chair. He tries to get up, but Minho steps right on his back, and he just pushes him down onto the ground where Gally's kind of stuck. And then Minho says, don't ever threaten me again. If you do, I'll break your neck after I break your arms and legs. He says, don't even look at me. When that happens, Newt and someone else, they pull off Minho. Gally gets up, and oh man, he's super embarrassed. And he looks at Minho and he's like, you shouldn't have done that. Things are different now. And he starts to leave. And he's like, I'm done. Things are different. Things are going to change. And he looks crazy. He looks like he's about ready to kill someone. Thomas is kind of worried. And he says this crazy thing at the end. He says a bunch of stuff, but at the end he even looks at Thomas. He's like, I don't know what you're here for, but I'm going to stop you, even if I have to kill you. And then Gally leaves. Oh man. Whew. That was a threat. Tense. I think that's tension. Sorry. The tension was palpable. It means that there was so much tension in the room between like Minho and Gally, or between the people that thought Thomas should be a keeper and the people that didn't. Like, there was so much stress that you could almost taste it. You could almost feel it. It was so thick in there. Disoriented means like dizzy or confused. Defied the laws of BDDDD. Usually we say defied the laws of gravity, but we can use any law, meaning that they did something that was impossible. Like if you saw someone float in the air and they ignored the laws of gravity, which pulls us down, right? But we can defy many different laws here. He says physics and gravity in this case, but we can say if there's a law, like usually mathematical law or science law, we can use it as an example that someone broke it. Belligerence. Oh, this is a tough one. And this is like arrogance, or kind of having this attitude that you're better than other people, that your opinion is better, and that you need to have a voice. If you think about Galley, almost everything about Galley is belligerent. He just has this, that I'm entitled and I deserve this power and I'm super cool and big and listen to my ideas, even though I don't know what I'm talking about, right? This is kind of belligerence. Sneer. That's a really evil kind of smile. Minho sneers at Galley and tells him and says, "I'll break your neck if you look at me again or threaten me again." Rutted. I actually had to look this word up because it's not one we use often, but it means like to make red or to become red in color. So Galley's face reddens with red is pretty much what it means, because he's so embarrassed and angry. I believe this is the last one. Maniacal. Maniacal is like maniac, and that just means crazy or uncontrolled. And Galley had like this crazy uncontrolled look in his eyes or his face, being like, I'm gonna kill someone. And it was pretty freaky. The discussion question I have for you is how I kind of felt at the end of this chapter. What would you do with Galley if you were Newt? Okay, now Galley looks really crazy and he's threatening everyone in a way. As the leader, as the current leader, what would you do? What would you do with someone like Newt that just seemed like they were going to make things bad for everyone? Sure, Thomas is a problem. Thomas is annoying. Thomas is a troublemaker. But he's not a bad guy. Galley, this is different. And what just happened here is much different. What do you guys think? What would you do with him if you were Newt? Of course, please write your own discussion question. That's all the time that we have for today. But thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Book Club Preview. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, if you have any questions about the video today, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. If you had any other vocabulary words that you wanted to know what they meant, let me know. And also, if you're interested in maybe joining one of these book clubs, please leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.